All right, everybody. Welcome to Waterdeep. Um, I know that some of you, many of you, have been here for um, varied amounts of time, right? But here we are in, uh, the largest city in Faerun. As I've said, some of you have been here for a little bit. Some of you, this is brand new. Um, this is the New York City or Tokyo, right, of this world. Anything you want, there's a good chance you can find it here. For those of you that are brand new, right, and for those of you that are new enough that you can remember that you're first here, when you were first here, um, among the most awe-inspiring sights when people first enter the city proper, right, are these walking statues, right, that are here to protect the city and draw one's eye upward. And as you look upward, it is hard not to be impressed with all the various towers that you might see around Waterdeep, and even further uh, in the sky. Um, you will frequently notice, and for those of you that have been here for a while, have noticed more and more frequently recently, the Griffin Riders. Um, Sentries that have taken to the sky, that take to the sky, um, to further protect Waterdeep. And their services have become more and more in demand recently. Um, but like in any city, um, these rather impressive sights fade into the background for those that live and work and play here. And after a while, focus is drawn back down to the street where um, the wide assortment of shops and vendors uh, are frequented by people just living their daily lives um, in Faerun's largest city. Uh, there are markets aplenty and shops aplenty. As I've mentioned, if you know where to look, you can find just about anything in Waterdeep. Um, Among the things that you can find in Waterdeep are taverns, and no shortage of them. Um, Perhaps the most famous tavern in Waterdeep is the Yawning Portal, famous for a.
I'm sorry,
Mhm.
for leaving. My mom called me to talk to me about something. I didn't
No
mean to leave
worries.
randomly.
That's all right. Look, just as an aside, right? We've all
Mhm.
got actual lives going on, right? So,
Right.
when you've got to duck out from time to time, everyone's got to duck out from time to time, right?
Mhm.
Um, that's perfectly reasonable. The one thing that I would suggest, right, is just drop a quick note, just drop a quick be right back in chat, either in game, right, or in Discord, right, just to let everybody know that you had to step away for a second. And that's all it takes. And then, yeah, just that should take care of it. So yeah, actually, and perfect spot. We're just getting ready to start talking about the yawning portal, where our adventure kicks off. Um, I'm going to describe the yawning portal a little bit. While I'm doing that, right, what I would like everyone thinking about, right, is um, where are you, right? As I describe the yawning portal, where are you in the yawning portal, right? Secondly, what are you doing in the yawning portal, right? And thirdly, right, and this one's going to be a little weird, but I'll explain it, right? And this is also why I'm giving you some forewarning here, right?
Mm.
I want you to be able to tell me something that you see, hear, smell, or otherwise sense, right, in this tavern, right? This is a pretty iconic place, right? We want to fill it with as much color as possible. And
Mm.
well, I just don't want to be the only one doing that. So I'm making you guys do some of it because
Yeah, that's
I don't feel
funny.
like doing all that work. Right. So, um, where are you in this bar? What are you doing in this bar? And something you see, hear, smell, whatever. Um, so the yawning portal, right? It is certainly famous in Waterdeep and most likely famous far beyond Waterdeep for a variety of reasons. Um, Believed to have been built around the remains of an old wizard tower that is now this giant portal into Undermountain and all of the um, risk and adventure that awaits down there. Um, the Yawning Portal is a uh, very large tavern. It's 3 stories with this portal, this in the center that has this single rope, right? That with a little bit of a platform or ledge that can carry adventurers down into the Undermountain. Next to it, there's also a much thinner and smaller rope that just has a little bucket. And what that bucket is for is to collect an adventurer's fee when they would like to come back up via uh, the larger rope. They need to place a gold piece per adventurer in the bucket. That is then um, reeled in, so to speak. Uh, Coin is counted to make sure there's enough for each adventurer. And then the adventurers may ride back up. Similarly, it's a gold piece to get down um, via this method. Um, it is, to say the least, a very loud and very raucous environment.
Mhm.
It attracts would be adventurers from all over the realm, right? Who are looking to find like minded souls or test their mettle or perhaps even take advantage of those that may be weaker than they are. But that's not all the Yawning Portal is. It is a bar, very popular, very loud, right? But it does attract all types. Some just come uh, to meet with friends or to have a few cocktails and some food at the bar. Others may come to um, listen to or perhaps even perform at several of the small stages that are tucked into various corners of primarily levels 2 and 3 of this establishment.
Okay.
And finally, tucked away in the corners, particularly on levels 2 and 3, but also in some of the passages towards the labyrinth that is the back section of the Yawning Portal, there are quieter, more secluded tables where who knows what goes on. As you can see from many of these pictures, it's primarily right it's well lit by the standards of the time, but a lot of dark wood makes it feel darker than it is. A lot of glow from candle lights, some magical, some not, give everything sort of that dark, sort of orange hue. And on this particular day, this is where we all find ourselves. So, what I'm going to do is don't worry about the individuals in this picture, right? But this just sort of gives you the vibe, right, of the place. It is crowded. You can see the winch and the rope that takes you down through the portal. Right? Gives you an idea of the 3 different levels, right? And so, yeah, let's start. Kaz,
Oh,
where do you think you would be?
you know, I'm suffering from a fucking pounding headache. I'd be right there at the bar, uh, laying over a pint, listening to all the rumbling of these fucking idiots. Everybody wants to go down the fucking portal, but nobody comes back.
So that's you probably at that bar on the first level. Little
Yeah,
hair of the dog for the hangover that you've got.
This I'm getting a big tab.
Okay. Fantastic. Right. And just listening to all of these people talk about how they want to head down in the portal, or they, were going to go down yesterday, or they're waiting to find another adventurer to partner up with to go down there. Right. But you don't hear many people, at least where you're sitting, you don't hear many people talking about what they experienced when they were down there. Not a lot of people who have come back up are sitting around. Gotcha. Very cool. I think the barkeep, as he serves you another ale, just says, "Listen, friend, can't you go sit somewhere else?"
Bro, it starts crying a little bit. There's a couple tears running down his face. Oh my god, my fucking head. Oh. Oh, okay, mate. Yeah, you're right. I'm wiping his face. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Right, just, maybe a table over in a quiet corner, but I don't want to get your family stink all over my bar.
Yeah. Oh, Lassie, but he's gonna start like to point at him, then
Okay.
white knuckles and walks away.
Thank you, friend.
You-
Um, Exidia, where would we find you in this establishment?
Exidia has a table off next to the hearth down here. And you see a very tall pink furred Firbolg in like leather armor, a big staff leaned up next to her. And she's got a little sign sitting on the table that says, "Will turn into an animal for 5 silver. No flying, no fish, no tigers." And she's eyeing like what looks like a group of tourists that are nearby.
And one of those tourists, a rather portly human, walks over and is like, "Look, uh, I don't know that I don't know that the children could deal with any metamorphosis right now. That it might be a little bit too scary for them. But uh, uh, is there any other lighter, simpler magic you might be able to do for them? It's little Theodore's 4th birthday."
Oh, okay. I think I've got a seed around here somewhere. She starts digging in her pockets and pulls out like a little like uh sunflower seed, and then we'll use druid craft to sprout it, and it just hand him a little sunflower.
Uh, little Theodore's eyes go wide, and he sort of half reaches for it and then pulls his hand back and then starts bawling. And
Okay. Here, I'll set it down. It's okay. You're probably gonna want to get some soil, maybe a little like terracotta pot, to keep that in. But hey,
and
man, it's okay.
the father is already hustling you away from the table and pressing like 4 silver into your hand, right? It's like, that's really my fault. I'm sorry. I thought he might like it, but apparently even that is a little too scary for him. I guess he won't be going down in the portal anytime soon. Ha, ha, ha. Well,
Uh, yeah, that's good. That's fair. Yeah, don't let him do that at all.
he has already turned around and is headed back um, to his table with his young crying child. Um, Chersonus, whereabouts are you? And if you are speaking, you are muted.
I was not muted, thought I was muted, and then muted myself and started talking.
Awesome.
Corsonis is seated in one of the tables right up against the yawning portal. If anyone, anytime someone is lowered down, he just immediately peers over the edge. And every once in a while, when the winch isn't working, he is flipping a coin over in his hands, back and forth, just pondering. He's a fairly tall and skinny human with very light hair, but the tan skin of somebody who has spent a considerable amount of time outside. His Um, he has no weapons that anyone or that are he has no weapons on him other than a knife at his belt. Um, Seems almost completely out of place here.
Um, it's been a little bit, right, since the last person was lowered into the portal. They were lowered down maybe 10, 11 feet max before they just started screaming, bring me up, bring me up, bring me up, and were quickly extricated. Not an unusual experience here. And as it
Do they get
happened,
charged another gold piece?
no, they do not. You got to get down to the bottom, right, in order to have spent that gold piece. There are 3 armed guards stationed sort of around the portal. The one closest to you, Corsonus, right, sort of kicks your chair, not hard, but just sort of shoves it a little bit with his foot. Says, "Hey, listen, little more distance between you and the portal. Understand?"
No, I'm just seated in my seat. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Right. And I'd like you to move your seat back just a touch, please. Little too close for comfort.
Oh, you don't have to worry. I'm a junior probationary member of Force Grey, and he pulls a little emblem out from his belt and holds it up for probably half a second before putting it away. It's gonna be fine. I'll be fine. Everything's fine. And then scoots his chair back anyway.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your compliance. And he goes sort of halfway back to his previous position, but is now keeping an eye on you, Corsonus. Let's see, who's next? Nim, where are you? What are you doing?
Ironically, I did actually identify the same spot that Exidia was near.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so I think nearby, um, there's this drow youth. Um, uh, his hair cut pretty short, for an elf, though not terribly short for one who seems to have abandoned the Underdark, as it is very obvious he has. He's wearing kind of clothing that does not fit. Either it is too small or it is too big, and it is not all in well keeping. A lot of it is stitched back together, or like has singe marks in the fabric, but it is very colorful. Um, he is standing with one foot on the back of a chair and his other foot on the seat of a chair, and standing rather tall for his frame, playing a lute with in very dexterous fingers, and singing the tale of 2 children who were lost from home and were promised that the Knittering Witch would have a string that could guide them home. And when they found her, she stuffed their brains with wool and turn them into sheep. And as he like as he's like singing, he's sort of like watching Exidia, like just out of the corner of the eye, like seeing the wailing child, catches a glimpse of the little sign, and when he yells sheep, he like pointedly like bends over into like her periphery and just kind of like wiggles his eyebrows.
Is this
The
before Exidia gets shoot away?
I would assume so, otherwise you're gone, and I've lost my opportunity.
I mean, do you have 5 silver?
I might if you help me out.
Exidia will transform into a sheep. A little
uh,
pink wool you.
he gestures broadly with his one hand, while a spectral hand continues to play on the lute, like trying to draw the attention of the other people nearby, in some pleasantry, and then produces an empty glass for people to put some coin into if they have it.
uh, two kids at this table scream and go running in the opposite direction. Theodore, the birthday boy, passes out.
Bah.
The father, right, turns to you and is like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I've got little kids here and you're singing about kids getting stuffed by a witch." My God. And he runs off to collect the other two kids.
As he's wandering away, like the lute is still playing with the spectral hand, and he's like, "Oh, I mean, it's a story. It's a cautionary tale. You know, you're supposed to stay by your parents and not wander off into the forest. You know, well, okay."
And at that, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
He'll like drop his one foot, so he's just standing with both feet on the seat of the chair, and then turn around.
You have your yawning portal performance permit, please?
Oh, right. Sorry, this is actually, and he like slips his foot against the glass and knocks it to the floor and says, an accident. Sorry, actually, not actually performing for any sort of. I should go and pay for the glass that I just broke." Uh, and he starts like stumbling away.
There's a big meaty hand on your shoulder,
Okay.
and you just hear, "Well, it's awfully nice of you to pay for things that you have accidentally broken. If you're caught performing in here without a permit again, your lute will be accidentally broken." And,
Right,
and
right.
you just feel the hand let you go.
I do go in an attempt to pay for this glass that I have broken.
It's fantastic. Yeah, that's not actually. It's a little. It's a little bit of an issue, right? Because there's a brief period of time where they don't understand that you're trying to pay for a broken glass. Like, it's the yawning portal. Like, shit breaks here all the time. They're confused by it, right? But they're like,
I do not
all
press
right.
this issue.
Okay, great.
As soon as there is like a moment of like, what are you talking about? I fucking turn
Right,
and
you're
leave.
going. Right, you're going. Okay, fantastic.
The pink sheep does follow and headbutt you for a while.
Oh fuck! Right. Okay. Can you break do you have any change?
She transforms back. You could just get me later. We'll work it out.
I'm Nim, by the way. Good work.
Cydia.
It's about at this point that somewhere back in the depths of the first floor over here somewhere, right? Even over the din of the bar, right? You hear some screaming. You're like killing me mates, do you? Well, you don't think I'm going to let that stand? And then you hear some crashing and some rumbling, right? At which the 3 guards from around the portal, right, all sort of charge back in that direction.
What do you think that was?
And yeah, this is an opportunity for anyone, either introduced or not, right? To react in any way they think their character might.
Can I like try to tail him, but like not be seen as I do? I don't.
Not being seen, right, is tricky here, right? I mean, there's
Like
people
Assassin's
literally
Creed,
everywhere,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
right, but not being noticed is pretty easy. Like the place is fucking packed. Like,
Okay.
and so you're just trying to follow these 3 guards back.
Yeah.
Okay. But at this point, you're just sort of keeping an eye on what's going on. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, from a distance.
Okay, cool beans.
Well, that sounds fun. And she'll like kick her staff up and it twirls and catches it and then starts running towards whatever happened.
Kind of look around to see that the the cop is not around and like stalk after her.
Okay, so the 3 of you are all sort of headed back in this direction. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Much like any bar fight, right? The closer you get, the harder it becomes to get any closer. There has become a massive humanity surrounding this thing, right? And Excidia, you've probably got a pretty good view. You're pretty tall, right? I can't remember for Kaz and for Nim, but you get at least some glimpses in between shoulders and whatnot. There are fists a flying. There's a very tall half orc that is swinging wildly, and there's like hard to tell, but there's like 4 or 5 what appear to be humans. They're all like trying to get their swings in on this thing. While that's going on, let's check in on Petunia. Whereabouts in this bar is Petunia, and what's Petunia look like? What's Petunia doing in this establishment?
How do I select? Hold on. I just say,
When you say select, are you talking about one of
how do
the
I point out
characters?
where I am?
Oh, very simple, right? You just move your pointer to wherever you want to let everybody know. And if you hold the left mouse button down, you'll see a circle emit from your pointer.
Okay.
There you
Well,
go.
I'm somewhere in this area right here.
Okay, so you're up on the 2nd floor.
Yes, I'm on the 2nd
Great.
floor. And I'm kind of just laid back observing, chipping away at my staff with my dagger.
Okay.
I have an old fashioned, like literally right next to me. I'm slightly tipsy as well. And, I'm just observing everything. And I hear the commotion downstairs, and my ears kind of perk up a little bit. But I decide not to literally pay attention to it and just continue to
Okay.
whip away at my staff.
And returning to the table that you're sitting at is a probably middle-aged halfling woman, right? Who just says, now listen, I understand that there's been some trouble in the past, but if you think that you're going to be able to duck that by coming to Waterdeep, I'm afraid you've made a horrible miscalculation. See, the Alchemist Guild here is sort of the central hub of the Alchemist Guild, so we're well aware of your unlicensed sales, shall we say, and that's just not going to fly here. So,
I get a sip of my drink and I look up at her and I just look back down at my staff, not really paying attention nor not caring.
mm-hmm. So look, and here's the thing, right? Yeah, yo back fees and back dues if you want to start selling again, right? But between you and me, right? If you don't start selling again, it's going to be forever before anybody even gets around to looking at these things, right? It's not an enormous amount of active, but if you get caught selling without the proper permits again, the guild's going to have you hide. And none of us really want that. So let's keep this civil. This final round's on me. I hope you enjoy your afternoon. And she gets up and walks away. The fight rages on. Our half-orc friend is holding their own, but it looks like things are going to go south for them relatively soon. The guards are pushing in further, but the crowd is starting to intentionally block their path. Not like turning around and holding them off, but just making it more difficult for them to get through, because at the Yawning Portal, this is just another form of entertainment. Piety, where are you? What are you doing?
As people clear out to go look at the fight up
Mhm.
over here on the front. Oh, I'm in the ruler. Up here by the bar, Piety will realize that some real estate's been made and kind of walk over, prestidigitate the counter clean where she's about to sit and plop down, put her journal down, and just start writing a little bit.
You're that motherfucker at the bar with the book.
Oh my god, am I? Is there a yes.
Is that what's going on? Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
I hate it here.
And it's kind of keeping an ear out, but like she's used to a little rowdiness. She's like, whatever. And just kind of sitting chilling. Kind of people watching a little bit and scans the room to see if there's any faces she recognizes, and probably fucking not. Just keeps chilling.
And you're able to do that for a couple minutes, right? And this is just in terms of time. We're going to play this as basically as soon as the fight started and the guards moved out, people started moving away from the bar, and that's when you sort of swooped in. So you're here as this fight is developing in the back, right? You sit down, and after a minute, 90 seconds or so, the bartender knocks on the bar right in front of you. I work on tips.
Look, just put the gold piece on the counter.
He picks it up, pockets it. Anything you'd like.
Surprise me.
Just give me a wave. Right. Meanwhile, I've got a feline I've got to move. Give me a second here. Thank you. All right. Meanwhile, from over here, all right, and actually, Kaz, Nim, and Exidia, you're unaware of this, right? You're far enough back here, right, that you don't perceive any of this happening, at least not initially. Corsonis, you definitely see it. Piety, it's really sort of your call as to how absorbed in your book you are, right? And similarly, Petunia, right? It's sort of your call as to whether you happen to be paying close enough attention to the first floor to see the first part of this, right? So Corsonis, you're probably the only person who sees the first part, where at a table over here, there are 5 individuals, all wrapped pretty tightly in dark cloaks, right? That jump up from the table, right? Rip their cloaks off, right? To reveal they're not wearing anything underneath. Right? They, all 5 of them, look like they have been through hell. They are bloodied and bruised, and it's a mess, right? And they're all shouting things about we're coming, oh Cloven One, oh great Lord of Nines, we're coming to serve you, we're going to open the portal for everyone. And they bolt towards the portal, right? 2 of them literally, like, one just puts a foot on a chair and then a table and then just jumps in, right? Another one just jumps over the ledge and jumps in. 2 people hop on the little sort of slate at the end of this rope, the platform at the end of this rope, right? And the third person is fighting with the person. They're not actually up here. They're not actually up here. They're down here on the first floor, right? But they're fighting with that person, right, to try and lower the rope at this point. So the first part of that, as I said, Corsonis, you're at least the first person to notice it. I would say Piety, you're probably the second. When they start screaming, I'd imagine you probably whip your head around. Petunia, similarly, when they start screaming, you're probably looking down there, right? And then you other 3, you might catch the tail end of it. You may or may not Well, let me see. What are passive perceptions, Kaz and Exidia? And
I got an 18 because my observant feat.
17.
okay,
13.
so Nim, you're sucked into this fight, right? And like at best, right, you turn around just to see this naked person fighting with the person who runs the
Oh,
fucking rope, right? This bloody naked person fighting with the person that runs this rope, right? Kaz and Exidia, right? You saw at least one of those two people swan dive into this pit, right? Nim, what you do notice, right, is the half orc has been knocked out, right?
Oh
And
shit! I was kidding.
and the guards have gotten to these four humans, right? Just as like weapons were being drawn and stuff was going to go from bad to worse, right? And they're attempting to haul these people out as this mess is going on here. So that's the new set of circumstances we find ourselves in, right? Let's sort of go around the room. How are people reacting to this?
Being
Yeah, Corsonis, I think you're a great place to start because you're both closest and have seen the most of what has gone on. So how are you reacting to this?
he's sort of frozen when they he doesn't think much about them throwing off the cloaks.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a little weird. Then they start running and he stands up but doesn't do anything until they jump into the pit, and he just stands there befuddled. Once the guy has engaged with the guy holding the winch,
Mhm.
Corsonis will hmm. I would like to telekinetically shove him away from the guy with the winch. Just Corsonis is fumbling with one hand to reach for the emblem he pulled out earlier, and then just gives up for a second, plants both of his feet, and without moving, interlocks his hands and shoves at nothing, and is trying to push this guy off the guy with the winch. Now hold on here, you can't do that. It's just the telekinetic shove feature. It's a strength saving throw. I will populate it as soon as I can find it. Here we go.
Alrighty.
Okay, that worked well.
Okay.
That will definitely save.
Yeah. I mean, you can feel it hit this guy, and you can actually see like him sort of tense up as he feels that hit, but he's committed. He's committed at this point. All right. Probably next on the list is Piety, right? You didn't see him strip their clothes off, but you heard him start screaming, and you certainly saw two of these people dive into the pit. What are you doing?
He's gonna wait until the bartender sets the drink that she got on the table,
Mhm.
and then we'll pick it up and go like walk over and lean over the side and like look down to see if she can see like what the fuck. Which it goes down so far. She's not seeing shit. But like just sitting there with her drink like,
No, you do hear what sounds like two bags of wet cement hitting the floor.
ooh,
ooh.
alright.
Yeah. But other than that, not a whole lot. Petunia, what about you up on the second floor?
Um, I get up and I hear the commotion that's going on, and I
Mhm.
kind of just look over that little railing with my
Mhm.
drink, and I take the last sip of my old fashioned, and I kind of just sit it on the railing or like on the floor, and I just looked very unamused. I'm at this point I'm very much tipsy, but also going into like me being drunk. So all of
Gotcha.
this is pretty unamusing
Right.
to
Like,
me.
I got you. Right. You're taking it all in, right? Registering that, okay, this is a bit odd, right? But
Yes.
beyond that, just enjoying that bourbon washing over you.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. All right.
Mm.
Kaz, how about you? What are you doing?
Cash was like, as the fight was going on, he saw the four men jumping on this person. He started to push through the crowd as best as he can. Seeing that he was a little too late. He's probably just going to. Okay, but Cash was just going down there to check him out. He had his dagger in his hand just in case. He's trying like to hide it in the back of his palm, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But he puts it away now and goes to check on the body. Cool.
Okay. Which body are you checking on?
The orc, because they seem like four people had to knock him out. This could be good.
Okay. Great. Got it. He sort of, is shaking. He's sort of kind of coming around and shaking his head, right? And he grabs you, around the neck, sort of tight at first, right? But as his eyes sort of clear and he realizes, like, oh, wait, you're not one of the people I was fighting with. And he can sort of tell that you're there, like, just checking on him, right? He releases, and that tension is relieved pretty quickly. And he just looks at you. What happened?
God damn, mate. When someone checks on you, you don't strangle them right away. You got to beat that up in front of everybody. Are you good? Can you see it? I'll start like snapping my fingers in front of them.
Please stop doing that.
Okay.
Nim, how about you?
Is the big guy like visibly up then, or is he woozy?
Oh, he's super woozy. He's still. It's still unclear whether or not he is going to be able to get up of his own volition at this point.
Okay, then I cup my hands around my mouth and I shout out, "Oi, Burley, you're gonna let a couple strippers and nudists get the better of you. Get your ass up!" And I'm going to cast a healing word.
Fantastic.
And I don't know if that will matter a whole lot, but I'll roll the
Let's
dice
see it.
for you.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Fucking numpy.
And he definitely shakes his head, clearing some cobwebs, right? Looks over in your direction, right? He's not quite clear who has done this or who exactly yelled out, right? But clearly is at least versed enough to understand that someone has just healed them, right? And in the general direction of the yell, gives sort of a thumbs up. Exidia, how about you?
I mean, she's just kind of come over and is watching the new exciting thing that's happening.
Okay. Great.
Not
Fantastic.
interfering in any way, just watching, seeing how it plays out. Those guys that jumped, that was very stupid. Just
Oh, if they're alive, there is some greater power in effect, for sure.
Which has gotten even more exciting now, right? Because the individual fighting with the person operating the rope, right? Upon feeling this telekinetic shove and realizing that they apparently aren't as hardy as they thought they were, right? They now abandon their station, put a foot up on the edge of the portal, and they leap into the portal. Right? The person operating the rope starts trying to haul it back up, and the two people that are sitting on the platform, one of them pulls a sword and cuts the rope.
Oh, well, now you've gone and ruined it for everybody. That's oh, come on.
And you hear 1, 2, like the room has become not silent like you can hear a pin drop, but silent like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on here, right? And you hear one more bag of wet cement splat. You hear a second wet cement splat. You don't hear a third. You do hear a buzzing, right? And pouring up from this portal, right, are what I can best describe as giant, like, bat mosquito looking things,
Oh.
right? And I am going to explain how we're going to do this, and then I'm going to need everybody to roll for initiative.
Okay, now how do I do that? How do I roll it?
Okay, I'll explain all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do this, all right? Well, let me... we're going to do this as sort of a hybrid of a battle map and Theater of the Mind, right? Because we're dealing with 3 dimensions, I think it's just too complicated to go with just a full battle map. So what I would like to do is the following, right? What we've got is on this map that y'all should see now, we are
Mhm.
going to use this to indicate what level you are on in the Yawning Portal. So if your token is up here or up here, you're on the 3rd level, right? If your token is anywhere sort of here, you're on the 2nd level, right? And if you're here, you're on the 1st level, right? Also, to make this easy, going up and down a level, right, takes either all of your movement for a turn or your action for a turn. Right? So it's basically you can move up 1 level or down 1 level pretty simply with one set of movement or one action, right? Secondly, everything is within 30 feet, right? If you're on the same floor, well, actually, just everything's within 30 feet, right? You might not have line of sight if you're on the 1st floor to things that are going on up above. But you're within 30 feet of everything. So the only issue you have to deal with, right, is either getting into or out of melee range. Right? So if everybody could put their tokens, drag their tokens onto the map, everybody, with the exception of Petunia, should be in this sort of ring here. There you go. Absolutely. And Petunia, you should drag your token onto the map and you'll be right up there.
Oh shit.
You might have to snap Petunia's token to the correct scale size and then resave it, Adam.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta change this.
Also, let me just check in on everybody while we're doing this. How's everybody doing so far?
Woo!
I,
Woohoo!
I don't know.
Orc gang.
I'm trying to take everything in.
So here's how you're going to roll initiative.
Okay.
You've got two different options,
Mhm.
right? What you're probably the easiest thing to do. Let's do it. If you open your character sheet, so if you just double click on Petunia over in the right hand side,
Mhm.
right? And then right at the top of the center column, you'll see something that looks like a shield and then two squares. And that middle
Mhm.
square says initiative.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yes.
And if you mouse over initiative, well, before you do that, make sure this is always the trick when you're rolling initiative. Make sure that on the map, you have your token selected. And you can tell that your token is selected because you'll see the red circle, the green circle, and the blue circle
Yes.
at the top. Okay, great. Once you have that, you can go back to your sheet and at that center square where it says initiative, if you mouse over the word initiative, you'll see that it changes colors and you can
Yes.
click it.
Click.
Great. There you go. Fantastic. Okay. Let me. Oh, oops, that's not what I wanted. Do a little bookkeeping over here. Okay. Let me. There we go. Fantastic. So, pouring up from the bottom of this portal are 4, 8, 12, 15, maybe 16. Hard to tell. They're buzzing around quite a bit. Right. And some of them just it's a little strange. Some of them shoot like straight up, like they're shot out of a cannon, right? And some of them, are like making beelines for patrons, right, in various places in the bar. Others, right, look wobbly and disoriented and are sort of flying in weird circles and not really like almost like they were drunk, right? Meanwhile, the yawning portal's now in chaos, right? People are freaking the fuck out. There are people diving under tables, right? There are people running for the exits, which the bartender, right, has screamed, lock the exits, and is jumping over the bar and headed towards the portal. Right? And he just screams, we got to get rid of these things. Right? And who's got a passive perception over 15?
I do.
Exidia.
Okay. Exidia
Also,
and
probably Petunia.
Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, Exidia, Petunia, Kaz. We'll have to fix your sheet, but okay, got it. So the three of you, even above the yelling and the screaming, right? Even above the buzzing of all of these things, right? You hear some scratching coming from the portal, right? We've got, I'll break this down for you. We've got we've got 4 of these things that have just sort of shot straight up and seem to be assessing what's going on the 3rd floor. We've got another 4, right, that Petunia, you've got good eyes on because they're headed for people on the 2nd floor, right? We've got another 7, right, that are down on the 1st floor, right, and are in varying degrees either like searching people out or just circling sort of aimlessly. Right? Piety?
Oh, motherfucker, am I first?
Yeah, you're the first one to go.
Oh, shit. All right, Warlock, baby. Piety's gonna not even set her drink down, just like 2 fingers off of the cup and like point at one of the ones that's harassing a patron on the 1st floor, and it's gonna huck an Eldritch Blast. Dink.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
And it comes out as this like burst of like goldeny, sparkly, very pretty just beam. And I have to yeah.
Very nice.
I don't think I have bonus actions that are good right now, so
this golden sparkly light just rips one of these dudes apart. Right.
she takes a sip of her drink and sets it down on whatever's next to her.
And this thing was pretty spry, looking like it was going to dive bomb in, to try and snag somebody under a table, and you just picked it off, and there's just bits of this animal, right, sort of all over the place. Great. Exidia.
Exidia is gonna look for a group of these things clustered together if she can find one.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see a group of um, 4 of these things, right, that are in between the first and second floor, right? Um, and I'm sorry, in between the second and third floor, right? And there's one of them, right, that is there's one of them that's seems to be in pretty good shape, pretty spry, but the others seem to have this issue where they're just sort of circling and wobbling and whatever. But yeah, so you got 4 of them that are all clumped pretty close together.
She'll call out to the barkeep, "Hey, keep an eye on this. It's gonna be worth at least a drink." And is gonna like hold back her staff, kind of like a lacrosse stick, and some like crystal formation will grow on the end of it, and then just flings it directly at the one like in the center, the one that's strongest, and just a little shard of crystal is going to like fly at it, and casting ice knife.
Okay. So that'll hit.
Okay. Why? Okay. So 5 piercing to the one that it hits, and then all of them within 5 feet, the one that it hits included, make a dex save or take 7 cold damage.
Okay. Okay. Does ice knife do half damage if
No.
somebody makes the save? Okay, great.
Yeah, if they save, they don't take any cold damage.
Great. So and what does this look like when you cast it?
So this crystal shard breaks off of the end of the staff and flings at the one that is in the center of the group as best as we can. And whenever it impacts, it pierces and then explodes, and a small radius of crystal shards, like shrapnel, pierce into the others.
Fantastic. You absolutely similar to what happened when Piety targeted one of these things. You just blast this first thing, the initial target, right, into pieces, right? As the secondary explosion goes off, you manage to knock 3 of the remaining of these things out of the sky. They plummet to the first floor, hit the ground, and burst like blood-filled balloons. Right? There's just it's pretty gross. It's like water balloon filled with blood. Now
the ones that die are left with just this like crystalline growth like seated on their body.
Oh, fantastic. Love it. Okay. At this point, the scratching that you've heard on the coming from the portal becomes more, it comes louder until it becomes apparent what it is, as a troll climbs his way out of the portal and announces his presence, right, by hucking a body, a naked body, right, across the room. Right? It crashes into a table, knocks a bunch of shit over, right? And our man, the bartender, right, is charging over to him, right? As he does so, he lights a torch, right? And screams, "Get rid of those damn bugs. I'll handle Barry."
Fucking Barry.
Kaz, you're up. You've got 3 of these things up top, sort of circling around on the 3rd floor. You've got 2 of them circling around on the 2nd floor, and you've got 6 that are still on the 1st floor.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, how many are on the second floor?
There's 2.
Okay.
Cass is going to pull out a mahogany short bow from his bag, and he's going to shoot at the mosquitoes on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Oh shit, I forgot. Oh wait, I don't have good guesses. Never mind. Please don't miss. This is your first time. Can I not click it?
It clicked.
Definitely.
It clicked.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It all just updated at the same time for me.
You're good. You're good. Why don't you give me some damage? Right, that first one hit, and we can ignore all the rest.
Oh shit! Damage. 7 damage.
Fantastic.
Pumping numbies.
Oh my god.
Your shot nails one of these things to a support post for the 2nd floor, right? And, right, this one explodes like another blood-filled balloon.
Raining blood. Shit.
Corsonis, what are you doing?
You said there was a cluster of 6 of them somewhere on the main floor?
Well, we're down to 5. They're sort of spread out on the main floor, right? They're at this point, there's 3 of them that have spread out and are actively getting ready to, it appears, attack someone or something, right? There's 2 of them that are sort of, they look drunk is what they look like, right? There's 2 that are sort of circling around on the 2nd floor, right? One of those is sort of in between the 2nd and 3rd floor and is sort of grouped up with 2 others, right? That are sort of around the 3rd floor. There's one on the 3rd floor that at this point y'all have lost eyes on.
The group of 3. Corsonis will take a moment, squints his eyes, looks up at him, and then wraps his fingers around something and pulls like he's pulling on a bunch of strings. And I am casting Sleep. This is going great.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
My spells are set to descriptions for some reason.
That's always fun. These 3 things fall from the sky the first one hits the ground, splat, right? And just like a dead carcass, right? Sort of what you'd imagine. The next two, splat, splat, and you got two more blood-filled balloons that just burst and spray blood everywhere. So now there's one of these things up top, right, that you've lost eyes on, right? There's one that is on the second level, and there are 5 of these things, right, that are on the first level. Okay. We've got one of these things that is going to swoop in and attack Exidia. Does an 8? An 8 is not going to hit you, right? We've got one that swoops in to attack Kaz. An 8 is not going to hit you. And let's see, 1, 2. Okay. Nim, near you, relatively close to you, right? You see one of these things swoop in and attach itself to the birthday boy, Theodore.
Are you telling me I have an opportunity attack, or are you just telling me that I see that?
No, I'm telling you, you've seen that. That's happened.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. You hear a scream from the third floor. The one on the second floor it's made a couple like dive bombs at some people, but they're pretty slow and pretty inept. So it's still looking for a target. And the remaining 2 on the first floor, they make a beeline for this troll that showed up. So, refresher. One has attacked Exidia and missed. One has attacked Kaz and missed. One has attached itself to the birthday boy. 2 of them have made a beeline for this troll. That's the first floor. There's one on the second floor that is sort of lazily looking for a target. And on the third floor, you've just heard a scream. And that's where we are. Nim.
In what direction from me is the birthday boy?
We'll say the birthday boy is to your east.
Okay.
Right? So he's back over this way.
Okay. Oh, that's absolutely terrible. Put your stupid ass to sleep, why don't you? And I'll just cast sleep like there, and if there are other leathery bastards in the area, also catch them. That's a 20-foot cube, so pretty
Mhm.
big. Um, and I have
There
a feeling that
right, there
it
are
might just be
yeah.
the one.
Well, there are not, right? It's just the one, but just for flavor's sake, I am going to highly encourage you. You put the whole table, including Theodore, to sleep.
I do get to choose, but
Right. I mean, you absolutely get to choose. It's entirely your choice.
um, I don't know that after knocking this child unconscious, putting him to sleep is gonna like. I want that thing off his neck. That's the big
Okay,
thing.
great. It's
Mm.
asleep, right? It's definitely asleep. It's still attached to his neck, and Theodore is freaking the fuck out.
Okay, then I'm going to walk over the like I'll just kind of like stride over chairs and take it off of him and like uh chuck it.
Okay,
Yeah, into the hole.
great, great. So that one's gone.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, Petunia. And just a refresher, right? You've got one that is sort of lazily looking, has made a couple dive bombs at the second floor, but missed, and is sort of lazily trying to find something. Um, Something's going on the third floor, but nobody really knows at this point what's going on up there. And then there are two approaching this troll, right? There's also the troll, but the bartender seems to have indicated that he wants people focusing on these bug things.
Mm. Mm. Okay, so Petunia grabs her staff and she like hits it against the ground to activate it.
Mhm.
Let's see. Mm, did not mean to do that. Did not mean to put that actually. Mm, could I possibly hit one of these with my fairy fire?
Yeah, absolutely. There's uh the one that is in front of you. You could aim at that, right? You could
Okay.
also um use fairy fire to get the two that are by the troll. You could probably get at least aim for both of them and potentially light both of them up with fairy fire.
Okay. I aim my staff at both of the mosquito looking creatures. How do I roll? I forgot how to.
The good news is for fairy fire, you don't actually have to roll. I need to roll because I need to see if these guys make a dexterity saving throw. And let's do this for okay, just so we can get some practice. Can you tell me? Can you find your spell save DC either on your token or on your character sheet?
Yes.
Great. What is it?
Wait, you said cantrips?
No. I'm looking for your spell save DC. If you're looking on the page on your character sheet that
Mhm.
has your spells on it,
Yes.
there are 3 boxes up at the top of that page. One of them says wisdom in it.
Yes.
That's your spellcasting ability. And next to that is your spell save DC.
Yeah, it says 14.
Great. 14. So you fire off this energy from your staff, and based on what we've what does it look like as you cast fairy fire from your staff and you go to light these creatures up?
Um, oh gosh. Like the shot itself or my staff? Am I describing or both?
Either one, right? And right, it's perfectly acceptable to say, I'm not describing this right now. Let me think about it.
Ah, I'm not very good at describing things, so
That's all right.
um, I can describe her staff. It's
Great.
about maybe about as big as she is. It's very old and withered down, and like the top piece is like this pretty blue orb that emits like a blue and green light.
Mhm.
Um,
Fantastic.
y-
Well, as this blue and green light extends out from the staff, right? One of these two is able to uh, sort of dodge it, but the other one lights up in this sort of pale moonlight type of glow, which means attacking one of these two that is at the troll, people will be able to do at advantage. The bartender has now made it up to the troll, and he's waving this torch, this lit torch, back and forth, sort of wildly, right? But isn't trying to set this guy on fire. It's just like waving it around in the air and screaming at him to calm the fuck down. Piety.
Oh my god. Okay, and the troll still has. Does the troll still have a couple?
Yeah, there's
What?
it
Okay.
has two. It has two near him. One of which is lit up with fairy fire.
Ooh. That's good. That's nice for me. Okay, yeah, I'm sticking with Eldritch Blast. I fucking love Eldritch Blast. It's my favorite.
Yeah, why
I'm
would you
gonna go
not?
for the right. I'm gonna go for the fairy fired one because it gives me advantage, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Love it here. Love it here.
Yeah,
Okay, Piety. Love it here.
yeah, that'll do
Um,
it. You pop this thing, right? And blood spatters, right? Both across like the torso of the troll and across the bartender's face. And
oh no,
he just screams, "Son of a bitch."
my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't. I mean, you're welcome, but my bad.
Okay,
Mhm.
fantastic. Exidia, we're down to one at the troll, one trying to find a target on the second level, and last you saw, there was one up at the third level, but you can't see it now. You just hear people screaming.
I'm going to make a dash for the third floor.
Great.
So I'll use my movement to get to the second floor, and I guess my action to get to the third floor.
Yep. So you are now on the third floor. Could you just move your token there? So I can sort
Yeah.
of keep track of it, or I can move it if
Yeah. I'm
you're
not
ready.
sure where to move it to.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Oops. Yeah, just so I know you're on the
All
third
right.
floor. That's perfect. And what you see, right, is one of these things attached to a human woman's neck, right? And just a couple people who knows who, right, are trying to pull this thing off.
Gotcha.
Right.
I want to try to get as close to it as I can, but I understand if I am out of movement.
No, yeah, I
Uh,
mean, just based on how we're doing this, just the fact that you're up on the third floor, you're within 30 feet, right? So it'll take you movement on your next turn if you want to get within
Yeah.
melee range, but right now you're on the third floor within 30 feet. Kaz,
Okay.
how are you doing? What's your plan?
Okay.
There's one at the troll, one on the second floor, and something going on the third floor.
I think Kaz is going to like do some Kaz go like run over and like hop on a table, and that's him like use his movement to get to the second floor.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna assume like I see Petunia up there and I see the left like that one bug.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna clock Petunia and I'm going to wait. So if I were to climb up using my movement, I'll have no more movement. And I'm not close to it at all. Well, no.
Well, you're on the second floor, so you're within 30 feet of it.
Okay. So I'm just gonna shoot it with my bow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I gotta ask. Do I get sneak attack? Or no? I don't know how to sneak
No.
attack. Okay. Bow.
Yeah, that'll
15.
do it. Roll
Oh
damage.
my god. 17.
Yeah, this thing you nail to the wall behind the second floor bar, right? Knock a couple bottles of booze off the shelf, right? And now there's just this dead bug dripping blood down the bottles behind the bar.
Kaz bonus action winks at everybody but nobody. Like he's trying to look cool in this moment.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
The let's see. Piety, Corsonus, and Nim. You notice the bartender has sort of relaxed a little bit. The torch is now just sort of down at his side, and he's sort of reaching out with an open palm towards this troll. Corsonus, it is your turn.
There's one left on the first floor, you said, by the troll, I think?
Correct.
Okay. He says he has Barry. He can deal with Barry, I guess. And he just sort of holds his hand flat, makes a slashing motion, and I am just casting Mind Sliver.
Okay. And that's an intelligence save, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Bug just drops. And actually, of all of the damage to these things that you have done, this one remains by far the most intact. All right. The woman on the third floor that has one of these things attached to her neck screams and goes limp.
Oh no.
Nim, it's your turn.
Um. Okay. It looks like the troll is somehow being placated. I'm actually gonna hold a minor illusion
Mhm.
for if if it looks like the troll is actually not placated.
Okay. Fantastic. That's everything?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Petunia?
Hmm? Um,
And here's where we are, just so you know.
yes, please.
Something's going on up on the 3rd floor. Other than that, and you're not sure what at this point, something's going on the 3rd floor. You have, as far as you know, there are no more of these flying bug things. And there's a big ass troll on the 1st floor that the bartender seems to be trying to have a conversation. Like, who knows what's going on there? And I think now's actually a really good opportunity, right, to introduce something else since Max just used this particular move called a held action, right? In some instances, right, taking an action at this very moment or at the very moment of your turn, right, might not be the best strategic thing to do because you're waiting to see, you don't know what's happening, right? And you'd prefer to wait to see what happens and do something, take an action if some condition is met, right? And so, for example, what uh, Nim just did was say, hey, right? Now, doesn't seems like the only potentially hostile creature down here is this troll, right? The the bartender seems to have that placated, right? But I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. So I'm not going to take my action right now. But what I would like to do is hold an action, right? Um, so that if it becomes apparent, if this troll takes some hostile action, right,
Mhm.
then I'm going to take my action. And in Nim's case, they said, if the troll takes hostile action, I'm going to cast minor illusion. Right. Um, and
What
so
is minor illusion?
minor illusion is a cantrip, right? That allows you to cast a small illusion. And that means like it's got to fit in like a 5x5 box, right? If it's visual, it has to fit in a 5x5 box. It can't move or make sounds, right? The other option for minor illusion is there can be no visual component of it, and it can be an auditory illusion, in which case I think the rule is it can be sounds but not speech.
Okay.
Um, fantastic. That
Okay, thank you.
way smarter than me guessing at what it actually does.
I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I mean, no problem. I don't know why I didn't do it. I could do it just as easily.
It can be your voice, someone else's voice, a lion's roar, beating of drums, any sound you choose, which I'm counting on.
Um, let's see. Could I possibly hold magic stone just in
Sure.
case if they
Although,
do get
right,
hostile?
what I would recommend, right, instead of holding
Mhm.
magic stone, I would recommend actually casting magic stone, right? Because the
Okay.
way magic stone works is you first have to create the stones,
Oh,
right? And then once you've created the stones, you can just throw them, right? but at least as far as I know, you have not created any stones as of yet.
Mm. Could I possibly create some now?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
You've got 3 magic stones. Congratulations.
Ooh.
Also, Magic Stone is a bonus action, so what you can do now is ready an action to throw a Magic Stone. So you can hold the action of throwing one of your stones for like if something happens.
Okay. Magic pockets. Mm.
Okay.
Is that the end of my turn, or do I still need to?
I think unless you've got something else, unless you want to make some move somewhere, I think we're done.
Um, I think that's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
The troll reaches out, sort of in an uncoordinated fashion, sort of slaps his palm against the bartender's face, right?
Oh,
And just sort of drags his hand sort of down the bartender's torso, but not in, it clearly isn't aggressive, right? It's just like the troll sort of acknowledging, like, yeah, okay, I know you, right? Um, all right, Exidia.
Oh wait, I think it's me. I think it just
Oh,
skipped me.
sorry. Let's get back to you. Piety.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Seeing that the troll's like good
Mhm.
Gucci, they're friends, whatever. Piety's gonna haul ass up to the 3rd floor, and use
Okay.
an action and movement. And as she does, her drink was like sitting on the edge of the portal,
Mhm.
and she completely like knocks it off into the pit and just goes, "Motherfucker, of course." And then just like fucking books it up to the 3rd floor.
Lovely.
And
Fantastic.
I'm guessing sees possibly dead, possibly unconscious lady with
Mhm.
bat problem.
Yes.
Is the thing dead? Is the bat dead?
No.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I
No, it is not.
It has not been attacked yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Can I tell if the woman is dead or unconscious?
Sure. Make me a medicine check.
Oh.
That is one dead woman.
Oh no! Okay, well, I'm glad I checked. Yeah, that's all she's got. Just gonna kind of like get up there and screech to a halt next to Exidia and just kind of like,
Okay.
and that's it.
Fantastic. Exidia.
Babe, I just heard you mute yourself.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Exidia is getting some cookies out of the oven, but then she is going to run back to her computer and run up to that creature
Mhm.
and kind of bow back with her staff in kind of like swinging a bat motion, and crystals like form up it, and it solidifies and just cracks it against the bat, and
Love it.
crystal bits like splinter off and like pierce into this thing, and I'm using While you might think this was shillelagh, it's actually primal savagery.
Awesome.
Yes!
And the crystals seep in and deal some acid damage. 1 acid damage.
So I'm curious here, right? Is the total damage 6 and it's just 1 acid damage?
No, the total damage
It's
is 1. The 5
okay.
is if it had crit.
Yeah.
I gotcha. All right. This bug is starting to melt, right? And it releases its grip on the corpse. Kaz.
Kaz is gonna see this. Is everybody okay on this floor first?
Everybody on the second floor is okay, and there are no bugs to be seen here.
Okay, Kaz is gonna. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! You know I gotta climb up this shit again. I'm gonna use my movement to climb back up these stairs to get to the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Cass to go see whatever the fuck Exidia is doing beyond confused, and he is going to throw his dagger at.
All right. Give it a shot.
Oh man, please don't miss.
Got it. You got it. You got it.
16.
Yeah.
What is with these sidebar crits?
Yeah, this is like the 4th one? No, 3rd one. I rolled 2 nat ones earlier. That's something. Okay.
And for the 3rd time, right, you nail one of these creatures. This time you nail it to the underside of an overturned table.
Oh, well, damn, I forgot my voice that fast. Okay.
At this point, you hear the bartender just saying, Barry, get back down there. I promise we'll work this all out later. You didn't do anything wrong. Everything's fine. Just go back downstairs. And the troll climbs over the edge of the portal, and you hear the scratching as he starts climbing back down. And that is combat.
Can I go get my dagger?
Certainly. As you do, the bartender waves his guards over, right? Whispers something to them. They head upstairs, right? And motions to you, Corsonis, and to you, Nim, and sort of waves you over.
Yeah. Walk over to him.
He extends a hand to shake hands as you both arrive. Howdy, name's Durnan. This is my establishment. I want to thank you. You're able to keep a calm head under chaotic circumstances.
Happy to help. Happy to help. I'm sorry. Barry, was it? Is that's a regular here?
Oh, he.
Looks like he hangs out at the bottom of the portal or near it.
Oh, and Durnan sort of looks over both his shoulders to see if anybody is paying attention, right? And he leans in and he says, "Well, Barry works here, but it's let's discuss it a little later. Too many prying ears and eyes. Not to mention, got to figure out how many dead bodies we've got. I don't think
There's one up here.
Well, you probably don't hear him saying this. However, right, you can point that out to the guard because one of the guards approaches Kaz and Petunia on the second floor, and two more approach Piety and Exidia on the third floor, right? And just say, if you don't mind, the proprietor would like to have a word with you. Right? And when you point out, Exidia, that there is a dead body on the third floor, right? One of the guards just picks it up, fireman carry, throws the body over the shoulder. There's another individual that is like freaking out and imploring this guard to do something, right? And the guard seems nonplussed. Is just like, come with me, right? The remaining guard on the second floor and on the third floor, to each of the groups there, says, please, if you'll come downstairs. As I said, the proprietor would like to have a word.
Fantastic. You think that word will come with the drink?
Fucking better.
I'd be surprised if it didn't, and I suggest you aim higher.
Noted.
Kaz and Petunia, how about you two?
Oh. Sorry. Oh.
Cass is gonna walk over to Petunia and say, you know, lass, I saw what you did there with the magic. It was great work. You helped out instantly. It sounds like we got free drinks going downstairs.
Petunia just kind of looks at Cass and just walks downstairs past her.
Okay, I see we're gonna have a talk here. Get to going downstairs as well.
The guard, Kaz, sort of claps you on the back, right? Just as encouragement to sort of head on down the stairs. Once you're all downstairs, Durnan extends his hand again, introduces himself to everyone. He looks over his shoulder, sees that there is a body being carried downstairs, and just motions to the guard and says, yeah, get them to Abaya as quick as you can. And this person sort of disappears with the body into the back. Durnan turns to the six of you and says, listen, I can't thank you enough. Fucking cultists are driving everybody crazy. If you don't mind, I'd love for you to join me in the back, sort of rest, recuperate a little bit. Can tell you a little bit of what's going on. At that time, right, a portly gentleman with a relatively short beard and a very long, very well-waxed mustache approaches, says, and I can offer this fine crew a job. Please, let's retire into the back, and we will all get to know one another. And that is where we are going to take our break. Um,
Hell yeah.
during which
Oh, yeah.
time So we find ourselves with Durnan leading us back to his offices somewhere in the back of the yawning portal, along with this other portly gentleman who has just sort of barged his way into this conversation. As Durnan passes a small semi-private bar, in the back on the way to his office, he gives the bartender there a thumbs up and then motions for a round of drinks to be sent. Leads all of you back into his large but sparsely appointed office. He drags a couple bar stools in with him just so there's seats for everybody, and has everybody sit down. The round of drinks comes in, and he.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, please.
But as Exidia comes in the room, just her exposed like forearm and her neck and stuff starts like crystals kind of start to like jut out, and then two like protruding ram's horns of solid crystal erupt from her head, and she just goes, "Oh, fucking hell!" Ah,
Durnan
this
turns
is.
and looks at you, right, and just, you okay, friend?
I mean, I guess I just look. It's.
I mean, do we need to send you to the cleric?
No, I'm fine. This happens every now and then. The more like I use magic, the more it like affects me. Oh, my head's very heavy now.
It's a good look.
Sure, I'll get used to it. Basically at second level, my blighted shape feature, effects of corruption, show on my physical form, and I gain proficiency in intimidation.
Excellent. Durnan sort of looks around at no one and shrugs his shoulders. Do you, your head's heavy. Do you need to lay down?
I'll just here, and she like sits up against a wall and just rests her head on a wall.
Maybe
This shirt
the
is a pullover. It's not a but. I'm gonna have to. I don't think my. Oh god, dang it!
I'll give you the name of a good tailor.
Thank you. That would be great. Do you have a coupon?
Now what the hell is fuck? Nah,
Well,
last. What the hell is a goddamn coupon?
I could certainly go into what is a coupon, but I don't think that anyone is here for marketing 101 lessons. I would once again very much like to thank you all for the help that you just provided. We gotta. This is more to himself than to the group. We gotta find a way to keep these fucking cultists from causing this sort of commotion. Look, I know it's probably a little bit confusing, but what you see out there, that's not the actual yawning portal. You see, this is more like, it's more like dinner theater. right? I mean, look, do you really think the powers that be here in Waterdeep would allow a giant gaping hole to Undermountain, right? To just exist unguarded in the middle of a fucking bar? Like, that sounds pretty dangerous. And quite frankly, today's a great example of why that would be pretty fucking dangerous, right? But instead, we've safeguarded the portal. It's much further underground. It's much more difficult to get to. A lot of checks, a lot of balances, a lot of safety precautions so that this sort of thing doesn't happen, right? But that's not really fun for everyone, right? So we created this sort of thing. That troll that crawled up here, that's Barry. He initially tried to climb out of the Undermountain. We thought to wreak all sorts of havoc, but really it's just because he didn't like it down there. So we gave him a job, right? And the thing with the Sturges, that was actually his idea. Like he regenerates pretty quickly, right? And so he lets these Sturges feed on his blood, right? Till they get all big and swollen. And then we can let them loose and they really don't hurt nobody because they're all full already, right? They just sort of wander around, right? Looks really fucking scary, right? But not a big thing. He was in the middle of feeding these guys when those fucking idiots jumped down the goddamn hole. Barry, wonderful guy, but not the sharpest knife in the drawer, right? He thought he missed a cue with something and that it was time for the performance, so he just let everybody go. Right? But thanks to you guys, well, things could have been a lot worse. So you'll always have a free round of drinks here at the portal.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, Volatamp, you had something to say? The chubby gentleman in the big old floppy hat and the crazy mustache steps forward. Well, yes, I could not have been more impressed with the way you handled the situation here. Really, just the type of individuals I need for a personal endeavor. Durnan, if you don't mind, might I have exclusive use of your office while I talk to my new compatriots? Durnan just shrugs his shoulders and walks out the door, and as he does, under his breath, he says, "Asshole." Volathamp starts taking or takes a pouch off of his belt and in a very showy fashion opens it up and starts pulling gold pieces out of it and making 6 piles of gold pieces on the desk, right? As he says, well, I need some individuals with whom I have no previous affiliation to engage in a little investigation on my behalf and perhaps find a missing friend. My friend, Floon Blagmar, he's really got more beauty than brains, and I'm worried that he has not been seen for a couple days. With all the crime that is going on in this city, I fear that maybe he's been kidnapped, and I was hoping that someone would be able to track him down and bring him back. I do miss his company so. By the way, you may or may not know me. My name is Volathamp Gedarm, but you might know me as Volo. And he, in a very showy fashion, tips his hat and does a deep bow.
Mm.
Um,
Can
do any of us recognize that name?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's
I'll
the name
definitely
is
make the choice that I don't recognize that name.
okay. Anyone who would like to recognize the name recognizes the name. It's almost as recognizable as the Yawning Portal.
Ooh.
I've read a few of your books.
Oh well, of course you have. Of course you have. Anyone in the know would be foolish not to read and be familiar with my terms.
Nim kind of begins patting himself down, like looking for a scrap of paper or something. And
Oh dear, don't please. Don't trouble yourself. I know exactly what you're doing. And he dips a pen in some ink and reaches out for your hand and begins to sign the palm of your hand.
that's exactly what he's going for.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm happy to see my reputation precedes me, and if you all would be so kind as to look for my friend Floon, I'd happily pay you 10 gold pieces apiece now for expenses, investigative expenses, and should you be successful in finding him, a substantial sum upon the conclusion of your investigation.
I'm sorry, you were cutting in and out. Can you repeat the person's name?
Yes, it's Floon Blagnar.
Okay.
Lovely fellow.
Okay.
I happen to know the city pretty well. I feel as though there might be a good chance that I or someone I know, or perhaps even one of you, if you happen to know the area, could stick our noses around, see what we could find.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleased to help.
Well then,
Sure.
I believe we have an agreement. And he'll start handing each of you your stack of 10 gold pieces. Is there anything else that you would like from me before you get started?
Actually, quick question.
Mhm.
I just want to can I try to get a read on how much gold he has on him right now?
Certainly. Give me an insight check.
13.
Okay. He certainly has gold. I mean, he's just laid out 60 gold pieces. He is not being very detailed about how much gold or what your payment will be should you successfully conclude this investigation.
So that is
And
all.
where was it last that you had seen your dear friend Blagnar? Mr. Blagnar. Blagnar.
Well, it it's a little embarrassing to admit, but Floon and I, several nights ago, we tied a few on at a establishment down by the docks called the Skewered Dragon.
Well, we're in Block. I happen to know that area rather well.
Very upset with certain Mordenkainen over rights to our latest endeavor, and needed to blow off some steam. So Floon was kind enough to meet me there, and I left him at the bar after he had raised my spirits considerably.
Okay.
And you say you're familiar with that area of town?
I grew up out there.
Well, my good fortune continues to grow then.
It would appear so. Well, I think I've asked the only question I could think of that would have really helped us. Oh, I perhaps actually, what does he look like by chance?
Yes, lovely fellow. About 5'6", 5'7". Sandy blonde hair, neatly kept, rosy cheeks, green eyes, always very well dressed. Here, let me see if I can't sketch something out. He does. It's not any better than his description. Right. Particularly since it's done with the same ink pen that he used to sign your hand.
Hey, love an
Um,
artist.
I look over at Durnan, and just like, do you have a napkin or something?
Here, I have parchment.
Oh, just so I could get another autograph.
Oh, by all means. He signs with an insane flourish at the end of it.
It's gonna wash off my hand. I want to. I want to. Adding that to my
Ooh.
inventory.
Ah,
All right. Any more questions for our man Volo? All right, fantastic. Let's take you here. So you guys are currently up here. Are well, let me ask, what's the plan? It's sort of mid-afternoon. Is the plan to start the investigation now, or do you have other things that you would like to do?
huh.
Fine to head over now.
All right.
Yeah, I have no other plans. today.
Okay. Fantastic. So, we'll just zoom ahead a little bit as you head south, into the dock ward, and as you are weaving your way through the streets, at one point you turn a corner and you find that this intersection has been cordoned off by the City Watch. Lying in the street are half a dozen corpses. It looks like it was a very bloody fight. Also, sitting sort of on the edge of the street, bound in shackles, drenched in blood, are three humans, right? And the City Watch is in the midst of questioning them as well as some of the witnesses. Member of the City Watch approaches you, but not like you specifically. Like he's clearly just making his way down to anyone who happens across the scene. He's like, "Move it along, nothing to see. You can head that way if you head south, that way if you head north."
While he's doing that, can I try to read the lips of the people being interrogated on the ground?
Sure. And you've got the observant feat, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Can you populate that for me? I just want to. Great. Reading the lips of the individuals that are seated is not at all effective because they're not speaking. The guards, however, continue to ask them questions about who's their superior, where's their hideout or where's their headquarters, and are they affiliated with the Zentarum?
Okay. I'm actually taking notes, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you got roasted for it, or because we're going to?
I was going to. This character, I have to. Okay. They're not. I actually. Oh yeah. Do I recognize any one of them?
Do you recognize any of the guards?
No, any of the people that got arrested.
No.
Okay. We got to make sure. Okay, well, that's all for me.
Okay. So as you continue south, the streets get narrower and narrower. The effect, right, is that the buildings seem to get taller, right? Even though you can clearly they're still just 2 and 3 story buildings, but just the fact that they're getting so much closer together makes everything feel taller around you. And even though it is midday, it's can get a little dark on some of these streets because unless it's high noon, it's hard for the sunlight to sort of penetrate in here. Not
Oh,
uh,
no need to do that.
the demeanor or the environment, right, is not made any friendlier by the fact that there are, more so than in other parts of the city, you notice boarded up shops and shops with windows, or not necessarily shops, buildings with windows smashed out. And as you get closer and closer to this skewered dragon, this becomes sort of more and more prevalent. You do notice along your way one shop that does stand out just because it looks A, very well cared for, B, there's a very ornate sign hanging above the door that reads Old Zoblob's Odd Bits and Bobs. And thirdly, there is a large window to the front of this shop in which hangs a little stuffed beholder, right? And underneath that, you see an old, rotund gnome who has his arm up and has the side of his body pressed against the glass window. And on his palm and on like the side of his rib cage, in each location, there's either a painted or a tattooed eyeball that he has pressed up against the glass.
God,
That's really peculiar. Peculiar.
What a weird way to be sitting.
I'm not gonna push the button.
Wait, you're going to push what?
I'm not gonna push the red button, the big red button. Okay, I'm not gonna go talk to the guy. I'm trying my hardest.
Okay. You've got me confused, Tony. Are you headed into the shop?
No, I'm not gonna talk to the guy.
Okay, gotcha.
Does he look like he's like sitting there like intentionally? Like he's just chilling weird?
Oh, this is definitely intentional.
Good. Cool. As long as he's cool, I'm cool. We're
Yeah.
cool.
One
Fantastic.
doesn't really sort of land in that sort of position. Kind of cock his head to the side. Like,
I mean, that's a fantastic way to fuck up your neck, like big time. Ugh.
I'm gonna go tap
right.
on the glass.
He just taps back.
I point at his hand and then at his rib.
You hear muffled through the glass, I gotta keep my eye out.
All right, weird old kook. I just turn back to the street, and then like
Fantastic.
as I'm walking back to the street, I'll turn back to the window, give the guy 2 thumbs up, and like a big smile, and then back to everyone else, hand across the throat and a grimace.
At the 2 thumbs up, he reaches up with his other hand to grab the little stuffed beholder and shake it a little bit.
Oh, weirdo.
All right.
It's so much weirder by the second.
All right. So it's only about another block or two before you make it to the Skewered Dragon.
I
Yeah.
think while we're walking, we should introduce ourselves to each other.
Oh
I was gonna ask.
It's just been so silent.
yeah. We all just finally realized, oh shit, wait, like what?
Like, hey, yep.
So, do y'all, come here often?
Petunia just says, "I'm not from here." Just stumbled upon a bar, decided to drink my night away. But that obviously got ruined. So, yeah.
Flash, you do know that it is midday, right?
What's your point?
What were you doing at the yawning portal at midday then?
I got my reasons now. I'm slowly slipping back into a fucking country accent by the second.
Join me.
Hey, I mean, there's plenty of day left to resume drinking your night away.
That doesn't make sense.
We've got 10 more gold. That'll buy quite a few rounds.
What's the free round? Okay.
Look, I've got quite a headache, so
Okay. My
All
name?
right. How about round rover? What are all you called? And he'll first point at a cask.
Cass gonna stiffen his posture up, stand straight. Last, my name is Mr. Demetis. My first name is Cass. Pick whichever one you want to call me by. Just don't call me weird, okay? I find that very offensive.
Okay, weirdo.
Okay.
Oni, do you want a second swing at describing what your character looks like while we're here?
I forgot about that. Cass, I would never describe a character that I have. Cass is around. Cass is a darker brown wood elf. He has very pointy ears. He's 6'3", very tall. He looks to be in his mid-20s. Short lavender hair, orange eyes, and that's all that you can see as of right now. I got some blue little button-up shirt on with some tight ass fucking khaki pants. And some nice black loafers. Yeah, Cass does the splits to get a little movement. Not like a full split.
Does the
He does.
splits in the
Not the
streets?
No, not the whole split. Like he just like, oh.
Like a leg stretch, like just in the street.
Like you just spread your legs out a little bit. Just okay. You gotta get some movement.
Don't look comfortable.
They're not. They're not at all. I need to buy new pants. I'm sorry. This character is turning so left. So
Let me try something else here. You guys have had, we'll call it, maybe 30, 40-minute walk. right? At this point, what are you discussing with each other on your walk? Are you walking in silence or are you discussing things? Let's sort of go through the list here. Piety, anything you'd
Oh,
be talking to your
fuck.
teammates about?
Would definitely introduce herself, and
Mhm.
just be like, I go by Piety. I guess it's kind of a fucked up nickname. I didn't pick it. If you all want to call me something else, feel free, as long as I know who you're fucking talking to.
Pie.
Hey,
I guess, sure, why not?
No, that's terrible.
What is your actual name, if that's what a name that
I,
someone gave you?
That is a fantastic question that I wish I knew the fucking answer to.
what is your
Aren't all
kid's name?
names just a name someone gave you? Well, I
Yeah.
guess unless you give yourself a name. Yeah,
You still
that
count
was
as
that was
someone
a stupid
yourself,
question.
though. No, I think you were onto something there. If you don't want to be called Piety, then we can call you something else.
I mean, sure, I have to think of something, I guess. I just well, fuck.
You
She
know,
thinks for a second, then just goes, "Whatever." To answer your question, I have been here a few times. I actually quit my job this morning, and she like points towards the docks.
All right,
About yeah,
go,
yeah,
girl. That's great. Fuck
yeah,
the man, like.
yeah. He was a jackass, honestly.
so you're like an entrepreneur now. If it's
Uh, I mean, whatever the hell you would call doing this, I guess. It works.
what the hell do you look like?
Oh fuck. Okay, so Piety is fuck, let me pull up the art so I can cheat sheet myself. A little water genasi looking. She has scales like kind of on like her cheekbones and forehead and shoulders and some places. Blue skin, like kind of turquoisey. Darker hair with the sides shaved and kind of a man bun situation going on. She looks so fucking tired. Like absolute sleep deprivation, like eye bags. And her eyes are kind of like cloudy and gray. Just just kind of weird, just a little weird. Uh and yeah, I think that's about it.
Fantastic. Petunia, what, if anything, are you discussing on your walk
Well,
down and through the dock ward?
she just remains quiet. She doesn't really trust people that often, so she's
Mhm.
gonna be a little reserved. But she just like says like out loud, like I'm Petunia. Uh, I not from around here. I ended up here wanting to drink, and here we are. Um, Petunia is, I'd say she's about 4'11", 4'10", very short, very tiny baby. She has two Afro puffs, um, piercings, tattoos. Um, she has like this cute little satchel that she keeps her quote unquote stuff in. Um, and she has like this, you can't really see it, but she has a dagger tucked in on her right thigh where it's not as exposed so she can like pull it out whenever. And yeah,
Ooh.
again, I'm horrible at describing things, so
So, no, that was great.
Yeah, no. Last look. If you go to hide a dagger, you gotta hide it better than that. You go from his tight ass khakis, take out a dagger.
Yikes. All right, Nim, how about you? Discussing anything? Talking with
Um,
anyone? entertaining
As
yourself in some way?
as soon as it is apparent that people are from out of town, Nim is very excited about asking where they are from, uh, and what brought them to Waterdeep. So that is what he asks Petunia.
Well, since you are a stranger, I don't think I have to answer that question.
Got hit with the stranger danger.
Kind of like puts a hand on his chest, and mocks some offense, and says, "Well, being friendly. I mean, if we're going to be wandering this very big and frankly very dangerous city together, just thought I'd offer some advice if you were perhaps very new here."
Sure. He just kind of shrugs. Sure. Whatever.
Ordinarily, my advice falls under category naturally like don't trust the fellows that, I guess, tear off their clothes and jump into a pit in a public space. But that one feels sort of no longer necessary information.
Didn't plan on talking to anyone anyway, so it's all good.
And he'll just bounce around the circle, asking where everyone is from.
Oh. I'm from Dentown. I'm from Dentown, up north.
What brought you out here?
This big city, it's just a lot down there. This is a place where I thought I could make money the fastest.
Also, where you can lose the money the fastest.
That's very true. That's why I got these tight ass khakis.
I was gonna say, Petunia says under her breath, and hopefully you find some more pants to fit you.
At one point you think I'd get a pair of shorts that'd be more comfortable, but a size 12 khakis on a grown man is not doing that well.
I mean, there is that tailor that what's his face mentioned.
I might actually have a change of clothes on me, but I don't think that they would suit you. You are quite a bit taller than I am.
Oh god, hold on. I had to remember. Wait, okay. I had to
Nothing
make
wrong with
sure I
wearing
didn't have a pair
capris.
of fine set of clothes. I might have to just turn this into a skirt.
That'll do.
Yeah, does another like split again. Pulls down one of the pants. Okay, yep. Okay, shakes the legs off. Where everybody else from?
I'm from the woods.
You wouldn't happen to know which woods.
No, not really. Few days walk. Well, probably more than a few days. Couple weeks. Yeah, that way.
Pretty far. And just turning to Corsonus.
I'm from a town east of here, little place, Lork. It's nothing special.
What's so funny?
No, that's actually me laughing because I know where Lork is. So none of you are from around here. Excellent.
I've been here the last 6 months or so. I'm a and he produces the emblem. I'm a junior. I Ted have forgotten the word that I used before. Probationary worker on Force Gray. I'm trying anyway. Yeah, lovely city. You're from here, right? Lovely city.
Born and raised.
You know that if you go to be whatever the fuck you are, you gotta talk with some authority in your chest, you know. I feel like you're second guessing yourself. If I didn't have a wiser mind, I think you're lying.
But I have a badge.
Yeah, he's got a badge. Look, we've got this investigation in the bag now. Oh, that came out sounding really sarcastic. I'm sorry. I honestly like that's great. I'm excited to work with you, Corsonis. 6 months is a long time. I've been here for like a month or two, maybe. I'm as lost as I was the day before. Honestly, I have no idea where we are.
This is my 7th month coming up. Anniversary, everybody. I fucking hated it. What?
Another offended hand on the chest.
He goes into like a long rant how I would rant about New York.
I'm sure I'd be pretty lost in any city, and I just so happened to pick the biggest one. Yeah, so this guy we're looking for. I don't know where to start.
Well, the Skewered Dragon probably where we should start at.
Yeah.
Corsonis, do you have any topics of conversation that you would have raised prior to reaching the Skewered Dragon?
Nothing in particular. No.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
Excellent. So, not long after passing old Zoblob's Odd Bits and Bobs, you come across the majestic Skewered Dragon. The two windows on the upper level are boarded over. There's an actual boat anchor through the window in the front of this establishment. And you can both see some patrons and hear a little bit of noise coming from inside. Safe to assume everybody's headed in?
I'm
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What are we doing in the Skewered Dragon?
Oh.
As you look around, right, the charm on the inside definitely matches the charm on the outside. It is just barely lit. There are 2 or 3 mismatched bar stools, none of which sit evenly on the ground. There is a big space behind the bar for bottles and whatnot, which is entirely empty and has some cobwebs and whatnot in it. There is a human woman standing behind the bar. I'd say cleaning, but like dusting is probably a better description. Some like tin cups. There's assorted patrons. There's probably 6 or 7 people in here at this point. One at the bar, a couple people at a couple different tables.
Well, Force Gray? Hand on a course on his shoulder.
Oh. I mean, we're not really the police or anything like that. I don't really have any. Okay.
I'll be right beside you. And I'll like steer.
Hi there. Hi. Lovely place. We are looking for an individual named Floon. Was in here not too long ago. Tall guy, well, medium height, I guess. Blonde hair, green eyes. In the presence of another gentleman with a very very long, very hard to miss mustache.
She spits into a cup, wipes it out.
That's
Thanks for the update on what you're doing, hun.
Yeah, we were wondering if that you had seen them anytime recently. Perhaps perhaps they have been in recently, or there is something you could tell us. And since telekinetic allows me to cast Mage Hand with no components whatsoever, a gold piece will float out of Corsonis's pocket and land on the bar.
Oh, I've heard that money talks. I didn't know it could fly too.
She takes a rag and begins wiping down the bar and slowly passes over that gold piece, which disappears under her rag. She says, "Yeah, I saw that jackass with the floppy hat and a mustache.
Would you be a little more specific? Was it recently?
Yeah, I saw him 2 nights ago."
And the one with the mustache left is our understanding, and the other one was still here. Did you see where they went? Somebody talk to them, and I will
Oh.
have another gold piece.
She will take that other gold piece and say, "Whoa, yeah, the other fella, the one that actually looked like it could have been his twin or something. He sat down, had a few drinks with him, and they left together." The half orc sitting at the bar just says, "Rainier." "What's that, hun?" "Rainier, never remember. That was the other guy." "There you go. Rainier something. Floppy hat, dumb mustache left. Rainier showed up, and the two of them left together."
Rainier? Never remember.
Yeah, another bitch asshole.
Is that name a familiar name?
Give me a history check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's a real familiar name. It's familiar because his father, Degalt Neverember, was previously an open lord of Waterdeep.
Rich asshole, I'll say. Neither made mention as to where they were going or what they were doing around town, were they?
No, they didn't, but you might want to ask the men that left right after those two did.
Who would that be?
Don't know for certain. Had a snake tattoo, though. Each one of them.
Is there a fun place where people with snake tattoos tend to go hang out together?
Dude at the bar just says, "Look for the painted snakes."
Stands to reason.
I mean, they all headed back north. Not much to do south of here, except swim.
Okay.
Very helpful. Very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. In the middle of their investigation,
Mm-hmm.
can't. Is anybody playing cards?
At one of the tables, you do see a couple people playing Three Dragon Ante.
Oh, I'm over there. Okay. Can I try to use my criminal contact features? And like, would I know one of them to be as one of my contacts or no? No, they just
Um, what are you trying to get either of these individuals to either explain to you or give to you or do for you?
I I I literally did not catch the name of the guy I went looking for multiple times. But I was trying to get like I don't know that they're also getting this information, so I was probably going to start trying to get it. But
Okay, so you're hoping that these guys will give you information on the whereabouts of Floon.
Floon, okay. How do I spell that?
Floon.
Okay, Floon. Yes, I was going to try to. I wanted to try to do it in like Thieves' Can't as we play free card ante thing.
Okay. Um, one of the guys doesn't even look up. The other guy looks at you and is like, "Say, you having a stroke?"
Oh, okay. Not that.
Sure thing,
Oh,
pal.
shit. Sorry, I laughed. All right, you mind if I join y'all on this game here? Well, now he got to join without looking fucking weird.
Sure.
Get it?
Have a seat.
Oh, fuck. How do I play this? Okay. I'm gonna take a seat and try. I do I know this game?
Well, we don't need to know the game because we're not going to play the actual game, right? So the
Okay.
question is, right? Excuse me. The question is, like, are you looking to gamble here, right? Are you
At this point, yes, because they've now been a waste of time. So I want to see if I can make some money now.
okay? Um, yeah, roll me. Well, before we do that, guy says 2 silver.
2 silver. Okay. How about this? 1 gold.
The guy packs up his game and moves to another table.
So much of my heart just wants to call him a pussy, but this character would not call him a pussy. Okay. Dodge the bullet. Get up. Starts walking back to the rest of the group now.
Okay.
Any luck?
Some fucking milk drinkers over there. I like how milk drinkers as a fucking insult. Can I go at damn, I don't want to do that. I've been here for 7 months. Do I know about the Centaurum?
Yeah. I mean, anyone that has been here for any length of time, right, is aware that the Centaurum are a criminal organization, as is Xanathar's Guild, right? And these two organizations, over the course of at least the last 7 or 8 months, have been at war with each other, and that war has been growing with increasing ferocity, right? It is safe to assume that the bloodshed that you all saw in the streets on your walk down here, right, had something to do with that war in the criminal underworld.
Okay. Can I try to piece together anything that would tie Floom to the Zentaurum?
Sure, not terribly complicated, right? Given the fact that you and Nim, certainly you, right, at the very least, and maybe Corsonis would know that black snake tattoo, right? That's an indication that someone's a member of the Zentaurum.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Fuck. I'm
All
probably
right.
gonna wait home. Nim and Chrysalis to come back.
Okay, so you're waiting to speak to Nim and Corsonis, is that correct, Kaz?
Yeah. I'm waiting. I don't know.
All right, have at it.
The, the bartender was not particularly useful, but the other gentleman sitting at the bar, he was far more instructive. Floon was definitely seen here 2 nights ago. They met with a gentleman by the name of Rainier Neverember, sort of a bigwig, well, son of a bigwig around this place.
Mm, person there. Okay. God.
De facto greater nobility of the Citadel. It's his father was a very, very influential member politically, and his son being around here, hanging around here of all places, probably isn't for good reason.
Nim, you would also know that the former Lord Neverember has not only been removed from office as an open lord, but has been banished from the city.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I have permission to know fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, like I mean
Okay.
that would be pretty clear. I mean, he's banished from the city. Like he was an open
Yeah.
lord, and now he's not here anymore. Like people in the city are gonna know that he's been fucking kicked out.
Yeah. I don't want to ever like step on toes as far as lore shit.
Yeah, no
The
worries.
guy was a dick.
hmm
So like even if like his son happened to be cool, him still being out here in the docks is weird. Um and I'll say as such.
Yes. I'm just going to reiterate this thing about him being a dick.
We could head up north a few streets, a few blocks at least, and maybe ask around or look around for buildings that have a snake painted on them. For the well, we're already going to be getting involved in what appears to be gang activities. It sounds like. That is to say, if Rainier and Floon happen to find themselves in the influence or being followed at least by Zentarum.
Oh, well. Asking around about the Centaurum. I don't believe that's a good idea, but I have no really other options.
What do the rest of you think? Should we ask around, or do you think you all have good enough eyes to be able to spot a mark in the daylight? I do not. And he grins.
I sure as hell don't.
No, I'm not saying that it's going to be. I can fucking see them. It's just probably I don't know. This is my first time having good perception. Uh, you know, we can definitely find the fucking markings. I just don't want to go around asking about the Centauro because then it points a big target on our backs.
It does seem like it would be a bad idea to openly ask about them. On the other hand, I mean, I can see, but it's nothing special.
That is a good step above where I'm sitting.
You know, I'm always down to hear extra options. Anybody else got them, you know. I don't want to fuck with the centaur.
Are we circling in on a plan here, or are we just going around on whether or not we're going to ask questions?
I would like those who have perhaps better perception or tracking skills to speak up if they have the if they would like to.
I can do some searching. Got an 18
Cool.
passive perception. I have a investigation proficiency, so I don't know
Cool.
if anybody else can help me with it.
Unless someone's got a major problem with it, let's start walking north.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic. You start walking north. Those of you that think you're going to be able to spot these markings on a warehouse, make me an investigation check.
Oh, I don't know about investigation, but
You want to make me feel for something else?
I'm very perceptive, and I'm looking for stuff.
Okay.
You know, I got a pretty good pass.
But this is active looking.
I hate it. Never picking up intelligence ever again.
So, it takes a little while, right? Exidia, you notice a building that it's just a small, like, one-story building. It looks like the whole fucking thing's been burnt out. You can literally see through the entire thing, right, to the alley behind this building, right? And on part of a piece of lumber, it's hard to say whether it was a door or a wall or what's going on. You can sort of see what appears to be a significant part of a painted snake, right? You point this out to everybody to say, hey, I think we're looking for something that looks sort of like this, right? And as you are walking down Candle Lane, even by Dockward standards, a very narrow passageway. On the door to a warehouse, Corsonis sees a relatively small but very clear and freshly painted flying snake that looks very similar, Exidia, to the one you pointed out. And I think just based on the time, I think we're going to call it there so we don't we have the potential to run crazy over if we keep going. So let's call that session 1.